Amid a crushing crowd, a desperate attempt to get inside Kabul's airport. Gunfire, dangerous Taliban checkpoints. These are the conditions those eligible to come to Canada say they're navigating without military protection. A Canadian stuck in Afghanistan said he tried to get inside the airfield 5 times, and he and his 6 children still haven't made it.
Every checkpoint is like a death sentence for me and for my kids and for my family. What is the point of this calling us here and not taking us into the airfield?
Today, a group of federal cabinet ministers gathered to address the situation. The defense minister said he wishes it was as simple as applicants showing up and raising their hands to get in, but it's not.
Sometimes the U.S. has to make a decision just temporarily to having to close the gate for security reasons. But I can assure you, every single time those gates are open, we have Canadian Armed Forces personnel there.
Canada facing growing criticism, it hasn't done enough.
France sent buses, the United States sent helicopters, Canada has sent emails.
In contrast, Germany's military deployed these aircraft to pick up those stuck outside the airport. France negotiated with the Taliban for safe passage of a convoy of buses to the airfield. Canada won't say if it will do the same.
I don't want to go into details, operational details right now, but I can assure you we have given the authorizations for the folks on the ground to make the right decisions to help as many people as possible, given the risks of the situation.
On the campaign trail today, Trudeau's opponents accused him of being distracted.
Maybe the fact that Justin Trudeau called an election might have impacted his ability to plan for the release or the evacuation of our allies in Afghanistan.
Well, clearly, the federal government is in an election mode.
Meanwhile, in Afghanistan, people are losing hope.
This is so very bad. Like, we're going to be here for the next few more hours, and right now, can you hear the shooting in the background? Because we are being engaged by the Afghan National Security Forces that keep shooting at us with live rounds, trying to kill us.
Officials say the urgency is real, and it's ramping up its evacuation efforts, along with cutting all red tape. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
Plane after plane, hour after hour. The U.S. evacuation mission is shuttling hundreds from Taliban-controlled Afghanistan to this American Air Force base in Germany.
It's enormous because it is such a huge humanitarian mission.
To ease overcrowding, U.S. officials have ordered commercial planes to ferry evacuees between bases.
Sit down.
But they won't be flying into Kabul, where security is becoming a bigger concern.
U.S. forces were shooting fires, Taliban, and also Afghan forces too at the gate. So people were getting hurt left and right, and it was a really bad situation.
The new worry? The city's crowded airfield is a target for terrorist attacks. Recent footage shows aircraft shooting flares upon takeoff, meant to confuse heat-seeking missiles.
There is no way to evacuate this many people without pain and loss of heartbreaking images you see on television. It's just a fact.
Today, President Joe Biden defended his decision to withdraw U.S. troops, but suggested the August 31st deadline could be extended.
At the end of the day, if we didn't leave Afghanistan now, when do we leave? Another 10 years? Another 5 years? Another year?
This is utter chaos. And he was saying, well, there would have been chaos anyway. This is not what most experts say.
This Canadian political expert says there's blame to go around, but
the Biden administration owns this because the execution has been so bad. Mistakes have been piled upon miscues. And the intelligence reports that they had were either ill-informed or they were ignored.
U.S. officials say they're ramping up evacuations, and Americans remain the top priority. Biden will meet with his G7 counterparts on Tuesday. Lauren Pelly, CBC News, Toronto.
What is unfolding in Afghanistan continues to make its way onto the campaign trail. Today, once again, the Liberal leader was asked questions about government efforts to get Afghans out. It's something our chief political correspondent, Rosemary Barton, has been tracking along with the entire campaign. Rosie, walk us through how Afghanistan is having an impact.
David, it has overshadowed parts of the campaign so far, particularly, of course, for Justin Trudeau. He is still the Prime Minister. He's been getting regular briefings on the security situation. He will, of course, be part of the G7 meeting if it happens this week as expected. That press conference today, though, with those 4 cabinet ministers was really an attempt to demonstrate the Liberals are capable of managing this humanitarian crisis as a government and also an election. The problem, of course, is that so much in Afghanistan, as you've been hearing, is chaotic and very challenging to manage on the ground. There is a lot of political risk here for the Liberals if something goes terribly wrong or if they are seen as not doing as much as other allies. That's already been part of the criticism. It also means that the Liberal leader is getting a lot of questions about this situation and not about his campaign and the narrative he wants to be presenting to Canadians right now. And that ultimately is a political challenge there for him too.
All right, Chief Political Correspondent Rosie Barton, thank you.
Thanks, David.